Yeah, I think Winter is also going to be a strong team to fight against. So what do you think is going to happen here with Finesse? Do you think they're going to be able to go 2-0 today, or do you think they're going to be finding a 1-1 here at the end of this next series?
Hard to say. Playing games like this back to back is really hard, and obviously Winter just got to watch what Finesse was doing and how they're navigating their games. So they had a little bit of extra time to prepare, strategize, and just mentally be ready for this. And this is going to be a hard game. I still favor Finesse, but it's not going to be easy.
Yeah, no, it's definitely gonna be definitely another tough game like this, but a lot of people thought this game might have been more in Finesse's favor, and Oshi was putting their claws into them, trying to make it through, and it seems they were really close each time. So with a team like Winter, who I don't know how you see it, but it might be seen as a harder fight. Who knows, honestly, how it could go, as we saw this game go.
It's really hard to say. This game can be very
Very it does seem I believe that Love and Drunk is having connection issues. And now I will try to finish what he was saying, try to be a mind reader here. It's going to be a very tough game to see as both teams are very strong. They're really very stacked, and I believe it is full winter as well, with Vens, Mystic, and Daftgrass coming in, which is another strong team to fight against. Honestly, I don't know how it's going to go. It's going to go either way here, I believe, especially with the way this game went, as I previously said. So we're gonna have to see how that goes. Right now, I'm trying to figure out what's happening with Love and Drunk as he is gone.
Am I back? Am I back?
Okay, it does seem he is back.
Okay.
What happened there?
Okay.
Uh,
I am not sure. I'm gonna be honest. Video. I'll just rejoin it. I'm sorry. Internet had
alright.
a really bad spike, I think. So
Let me know when you're back here. As we say though, for this next game, I'm very excited to see. As we saw a Amy's app, which is a definitely more less fighting for midfield match, which they were able to play really well on. But then in more open map like Oni Village, that midfield they were struggling at first to find it, at least on Finesse's side. So maybe through on their end, if Winter is able to get that better forward or midfielding advantage on a more open map, maybe we'll be able to see something happen through them, and it will be very very hard to say here what's going to happen. But I do think map dependency is going to be what goes into what is going to be done here, or who's going to be taking the first sets and then getting those awakening leads, winning the awakening draft, as they say. So it's definitely going to be nice to see here what's going to be happening. Love and Drunk, are you okay? What's happening? Okay, I do believe Love and
I'm
oh,
not
there
sure.
is.
Am I live? My ping just spiked. My ping. Okay, I'm gonna go restart my router. I'll be back.
Okay, so I'll be seeing what's happening with that. Not quite sure what to do here. But as I was saying for the map choices, so I do believe Winter's team might have a slight more edge on a more open map, like Oni Village, as we saw, or maybe Atlas's Lab, anything like that with a big open map to play around. Of course, there's always Gates of Obscura, which is a lot more random and a lot harder to play around since people haven't really had time to adapt to that match. That game with the way you play, the awakenings going into it, and the goalies, all that into it is going to make it a lot harder. And another map that's also like that is Inky's, just because it's so new and there's a lot of power, especially with that the juicer coming and helping with that extra forward pressure that the goalie can supply. A lot more that can be done there. So it's going to be. I do believe that depending on the map, the matching here is going to be harder to say who is going to win that. It does seem here Love and Drunk is still having issues.
Yo,
It
it's
is.
me. I'm hopping on early. Yeah, so
Hello.
the third for Winterfall is Vens. I recall Vens hopping on in the goalie slot. So I think the maps that will favor this Winterfall team, at least a little bit, Finesse definitely by far the favorites here, but Winterfall would definitely have the biggest chance, in my opinion, on maps like Imi's app and Inky's, because those are the two most volatile maps in the game, especially Inky's. A lot of people complain about that one. And if I guess the players of Winterfall are familiar with Gates of Obscura, that could also be a way they can make it happen as well.
What do you think, going in here, thank you for joining me today. What do you think is going to be going in here in terms of bans on the both sides of things? Because both teams do know each other pretty well, if I'm not mistaken. So the bans here, I'm curious what your opinion is, what they're going to be, what we're going to be seeing.
I'm sorry. I was just looking at the Twitch chat.
Uh-huh. Looking at Twitch chat, anything going on in there? Not sure.
Okay, well, so bans, right? Bans. It depends on the map, right? Some teams will risk banning out the Joker Octavia, especially if it's like a cast or chrono start. It could be big. So there's a big question mark there. But I think most importantly, if you're not gonna play the Asher, you should probably ban it because Asher is a very balanced character, and by very balanced character, I mean incredibly busted character at the moment, and I don't know. Like, they're also very uninteractive to play against as well, so it's a little tough.
I do think Lily Bun was putting a strong performance on the Amy goalie, so I do believe there might be a ban there if we are going to be seeing something like a extra special or a timeless start again in the upcoming matches. Of course, if it's a map where you could play a little bit more like that, like Amy's app as we saw, or maybe Night Market. So I think maybe looking into that Lily Bun ban, also Lily Bun with a strong Dubu as we just saw here. I think that also might be a contender, but I know Dubu is a more controversial ban as we know that there's a lot more you can play around if you ban a Dubu, where if you ban someone that is more like a Joker Octavia, it's a lot harder to play around if there's like if there's a Chrono start or a Cast last or something like that.
Yeah. It's very dependent on what mode Finesse decides to go for what map. But again, going back, Winterfall, I think even though Winterfall aren't the biggest fans of the current patch, if their chance of winning go up the highest if it is one of the new maps. Most of all Inkies, I believe that they can pilot some kind of combo on Inkies, figure it out, play around the water cannon, enter the juice, and figure it out there. But um uh yeah, I'm also lost. Hopefully Levin's internet comes back soon.
Yeah, Levin did, unlike the Inky Splash Zone map, left behind dry there, and hopefully we're gonna be seeing him coming back soon. I do hope so.
Hi.
Uh,
Oh,
How's my
oh,
audio? My live audio wise?
yep.
yep.
Okay, sick.
Goodbye.
Let's see. Bye, bestie. Camera, gotta load that back up. Join
So
room
Levin Drunk,
camera.
I hope you
Think I'm
enjoyed
back.
your mini vacation here. Now back with me here as me and Saya were
Okay.
talking about the map picks and map bans, what maps might be favored for each team here. What is your thoughts on what teams that Finesse or Winter might want to see here?
No idea. I'm gonna be honest. I'm trying to get back in the group. I need to be invited back. Can you invite me back in?
Yes, I can right now.
um, I don't know. Here, let me be selfish. I want to see Gates. I don't care what the players want. I don't care if this benefits them at all. I want Gates. Okay. And I'm back on video, so I think everything's good. 1984. No. I just all right. If I hope we're all good. I should be ready. I hope this doesn't happen again. This never happens. I just restarted the router, so we should be solid. We like I don't know. We're gonna make it work at this point because that's still what we can do, right?
Yep, we will make it work as we see it. Hopefully, no more issues like that. As they say, everyone gets one. So hopefully, no more. Coming in here. Hopefully, we can get this game started soon because I am very excited, as you said, for that Gates of Obscura. I personally love watching that map. I love playing it, even though some others would disagree with me. And I think I even more love casting it because there's so much going on and there's so many sick portal plays that you can make. And I just love seeing it. And I do think that match might be a lot more intricate than others because it's new. Not everyone knows how to play it. Maybe one team has it more figured out than the other and they have to adapt right off the bat. So we'll see here what's going on there.
I I am really looking forward to the Gates of Obscura fire up game whenever that happens because that game is going to be like oh man, you know? it's going to be so hard to cast, and whoever gets the honor of casting that game is just going to have to put their hands up and concede that the game is whatever it is, and they're just going to have to accept that, and it's going to be a nightmare to cast, and I look forward to it.
Yeah, no, I honestly don't think it's a quite a disaster to cast, but I think it's an opportunity I relish having because it's very nice to see. There's so many portal plays. I love just trying to keep track of it all. I love the surprises that come along with it. It's definitely a lot of ups and downs and a lot of lefts that become rights because of the way Gates of Obscura works. And as we're excited to see here, I think now we're finally loading into the next series here on Atlas's Lab, as we're going to be seeing.
Not quite Gates of Obscura. It's not the same. It doesn't. It doesn't like fill me with excitement in the way that Gates of Obscura or Inky Splash Zone does. Because like I don't know, the big giant galaxy in the middle isn't quite as amusing. As we do see Aimee being banned on the side of Finesse, taking that away from Winter, Octavia being taken away from Joker. So it's probably Cast to Last or Chrono Boost here for the start. Something to keep in mind as they're picking here.
Yeah, as we're going to be seeing here, the Kazan pick, new character. Hopefully we're going to see how that fits into their build with the Era. Hopefully with that size increase, able to land more abilities, a lot stronger, maybe shrink a few opponents. We're going to see here as maybe the Era mirror match now, as we're seeing here. Lilybun on the Dubu goalie once again with the Joker on the Asher pick, as we're going to be seeing here right now as we load in and find the Awakening, as it's going to be a Cast to Last and only Daftgrass taking Prized Fighter here.
Prized Fighter on Kazan is pretty gross. This character has quite a lot of damage here, and that only is going to scale so well with power. As we see a really quick start here from the side of Winter, getting a barrier almost immediately on this map as the Arrows are duking it out on the top of the map. Joker put in a lot of damage here on the Daft, who has the prize fighter, but isn't seeming to win the prize fights quite just yet. And, well, they're going to have to get it out of here if they want any chance of progressing this game state beyond what it is. But Joker finds barrier 1, Puffy finds barrier 2, and they're looking to sink this goal. Good defense here from the side of Winter as Finesse can't quite make it happen. Joker pushes up forward, the speed boost coming out from both Eras, and Dubu a little bit smaller, still looking pretty bulky, and they can't quite feed it to Joker, who is trying to make it happen, but Dubu Fortress has holes in it. It's not quite the Great Wall of China like we wish it is, but a beautiful Era primary hits 2 people and the core and scores.
Wow, what a very hard-fought game. There's a lot more pressure from at Finesse there onto Winter. We're going to see how that plays out throughout the next rounds in the set, as we see the Flutterfly from Era trying to speed boost that, but the other team also do the same, so the speed is relatively the same with the stalling from Lilybun up to the top, where Puffy's able to feed it to Joker, is able to get one barrier, maybe able to find the second one with the core flip here, but it doesn't seem like, not quite, but it does seem Puffy's going to get a shot there, but they're able to feed it out as Draftgrass now is trying to make a play here with the Kazan hook, pulling it through, but Joker with the core flip, not quite enough as Venz is able to block it out now as he pushes forward, trying to get the first barrier, which they're able to find now as the ultimate, the Maelstrom keeping it away, but it does seem Mystic's able to find that last barrier as it's able to get through the Dubu Fortress and able to get the first point for a 1-1.
Dubu players, me included, just rely on that fortress to lock areas down, and there was just a little tiny hole underneath it that the core is able to squeak into and make a beautiful pass to Daftgrass. One thing that I have noted here is that the Eras are making the damage game really hard here for Daftgrass, who has finally, as I mentioned it, found his first KO of the set. But being small and that power decrease and the speed that comes with it makes it really hard to actively do anything here. If either of these Eras, wow, Lilybun with the Puffy FPS help on the core flip, they're able to find that. Making them small is going to make this game so much harder, and anything that enhances the primary is going to be very difficult here. As Joker makes a beautiful dribble to set himself up and give himself that 50-50 on the Kai there in the midfield.
Yeah, that was definitely a hard shot. Joker with the able to make a nice play there, definitely taking making the most out of a play like that, which was definitely nice to see here as it's now 2-1. Hopefully they can close this out here, but it does seem the first barrier is going to drop on their side as now Mystic trying to carry the ball over, but Joker's going to be found dead from Daftgrass now as he's able to make a nice bank shot to get that barrier now. Fans core flipping, trying to get it to Mystic, who's able to make a nice goal for 2-2 now as it's match point for both sides for the first set.
What an absolute beautiful play there by Venz, getting the core flip to get it up to Mystic and get it just around the players of FNS here, as Daftgrass was able to find yet another KO, so the full prize fighter is online here, which means that Daft is looking to push out a lot of damage here. You can see just bullying Joker, making it so Joker doesn't get to play the game, as a Maelstrom takes out Lilybun on the back end, so that's one barrier for the side of Mystic, and that's not quite another one as Puffy gets that, but Joker's off the map as well here. Puffy under a lot of damage here, a lot of harassment coming out. Daftgrass wins a strike war and takes the set for the side of Winter.
Wow, definitely a hard-fought game. Daftgrass now finally getting all that damage up with that level 2 on Kazan, getting access to all those other moves in his whole toolkit. A lot you can dish out, as now he is top pick for this first carousel. What do you think is going to be the picks here?
Wind Drive? Is that the play here for Kazan, or built different? Catalyst. Okay. Catalyst makes sense. All three of those would have made sense, and I would have been fine with either of them. Nothing here for either era yet that is scary. We do see that Puffy is kind of waiting there, does end up taking the Egoist. Missile Prop here on the Kai is pretty good, and even Twin Drive here for Lilybun on the Dubu is pretty good. The only thing that doesn't look great right now, of course, is Mystic getting the built different, which is just mostly a denial pick, and then Joker's Spark of Resilience doesn't look that great right this second, but give it a round or two and let's see how that pans out.
Yeah, as we're able to see a KO come out, finding Puffy, but now it does seem Mystic's able to get the barrier now as they're trying to make a play here. Ven's a little too far up, but almost gets the Giga to keep it up. Now as Joker's almost able to find the second, but it does seem Mystic and Ven's power play able to keep it out. Now as they fight, as both barriers are down, same-sided barriers, but Joker's able to push it through there, as now they were trying to get it through. Puffy back into play here, trying to make a play, but it seems that Joker's going to get caught off guard by the black hole now, as Daftgrass is going to core flip right to Mystic to get that second barrier now. Open nets for both sides as Daftgrass has a one-on-one against Puffy, but he's able to find it through for the first point of this set.
The thing that has really impressed me here this game for Winter is they have been winning the strike wars. Lilybun has been unable to win one-on-one strike wars consistently against the team of Winter here. Daftgrass taking a lot of damage here, trying to make anything happen. Good pass splitter there by Joker, and then we're going to feed Puffy with the Maelstrom, clearing a path, but it's still blocked. Puffy keeps it in there. They do eventually clear it out on the side of Winter, but I've just been impressed with their ability to make these types of plays right here where they're dribbling, getting in Lilybun's face, and putting her under a lot of pressure, which Era does help with, right, as an excellent Maelstrom almost snipes the barrier here. Joker put under a lot of distress by Daftgrass as they're kind of reverse Okiing Joker here.
Yeah, the Okiing strike does help a lot. Excuse me. As we're able to see here now, Lilybun able to get the get core flip, dribbling out, trying to stall, and but a mistake is unfortunately going to lead to the barrier dropping and the core flip gone. It's now passing to Puffy, trying to clear it out, but it doesn't seem that quite able to happen as they're able to pass to Joker, who might be dead here from the core flip, but he's able to stay alive as the Dubulog's able to keep the core flip away. Now Van's core flipping and trying to get it through to them as Joker's able to not quite keep alive. Daftgrass is quite able to get that barrier for round 2.
And that is prize fighter stack number 2 now for Daftgrass, so we're at 2 there. And this is just important to keep note of because the amount of damage that Kazan can do is a lot, especially if this gets stacked up. And the core flips that are going to come out with the Catalyst, it's all real big deal here, as we see that the offensive attack for Finesse is looking pretty good. Takes a barrier here, trying to get through 3 people to Joker. I don't think that's going to quite pan out, but, you know, as I'm saying it, Puffy's able to push it through all the same with an excellent Era primary there. Good core flip for Mystic to keep the pressure up on the other side, as Joker doesn't seem to be too much longer for this map, as they are under a lot of pressure here. Daftgrass actually tries to go and help out against Puffy, and thus probably misses an opportunity here to really punish and make sure that Joker doesn't get healed up here. Joker again just constantly being harassed, and it's putting Puffy in a spot where they have to do all the work on the offense, and they obviously are struggling to get that done as Lilybun and Puffy are keeping it back here, and Joker is somehow still alive. Daftgrass refusing to use this core flip here to clear because we are thirsty for that kill. We are trying to find a way to make sure that Joker doesn't get to play this game.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of pressure on Joker. It's definitely harder for him to have an impact on the game here as we see Daftgrass holding on to that core flip for the right opportune moment. Hopefully that will pan out as Joker now is able to get back into the fight with that health, but it does seem that Mystic is keeping him shrunk. They're definitely doing all they can to keep him out as the pass split are able to keep a little bit of pressure off of Joker, but now with the court in Daftgrass's hands, trying to find the dribble shot, but noticing that Joker's able to find it, but it's not quite enough as Mystic's able to clear it away from him now. Ben's pushing all the way up with the power of core flip, trying to get the ball through, and it does seem that, I don't know, I'm not quite sure what happened there, but the ball is back on their side with Mystic clearing it to Daftgrass, who was stunned from the Dubu roll now as Benz has to waste core flip trying to get it through with Lilybun making a core flip of their own, trying to get it through now as we see here a big fight for midfield with Puffy really low here now as he's getting reverse damaged on. Now Joker having a one-on-one against Benz, trying to get the ball through, and it's definitely a hard fought here. Definitely, not quite sure what team is going to get the lead here, get the advantage, but Puffy now is high damage as Joker is able to find it out while they're brawling for their first point of this set.
That was a long overtime. I'm just gonna throw that out there. It didn't look like either team was able to accomplish what they wanted to, right? It didn't look like that Joker was able to find a way to play the game. Daftgrass and Mystic and Benz weren't able to clear them off the map as they were able to get that through there and really find a way to take the barriers tier on the side of Winter, who's now looking to secure the KO, but more importantly, the goal and the set, as Daftgrass is able to push it through with the umbrella Twirly Dirly, which I think is its official name. Do not look it up, but what a play there. Yeah,
that Twirly Whirly, as you called it, is really strong if you can set it up perfectly. Definitely hard to get it through there, and it's definitely going to be hard as a goalie to clear that. I'm not quite sure what you can even do there, if you could evade clear it or not, but it does seem in this draft Kazan is able to find perfect form, which is very helpful for him. Definitely going to keep all those abilities up, and it does seem that Era might find themselves a Manu. Either Era, I'm not quite sure. No, neither Era did. My mistake, as we see the Sparks are back and they're taking some.
Yeah, Manu Era is fine. It doesn't really give you too much in the way of flexibility with the Maelstrom, right? Because Timeless gives you more control over when or when not you can release it, whereas Manu doesn't quite get that. But the hotshot here allows for more Maelstroms, it allows for more primaries if you're hitting the core, and it's worth noting that Daft is off the map, by the way. I actually wasn't paying attention because I was looking at Awakenings, so Daft is back now, but Joker was able probably to find a KO there and really put them in a good power play here, which is why they have both the barriers, and now Daftgrass, Vents, and Mystic on the side of Winter need to find some way to make it happen here and get it out of their net. Lilybun passes it to Joker, who's able to put it into the bottom side, but doesn't quite have the speed to get there on the follow-up. Daftgrass with core flip, can't get it just yet. Mystic trying to push it through, tries to use the core flip there for a KO on Puffy, can't make it happen, blocked. Galaxy doesn't quite get the KO either, and there it finally is. That is stack number 1 for Daftgrass, because Daftgrass was KO'd, reminder. And now with closed umbrella, we're going to see that in overtime, every shot's going to be hitting hard, making sure that core goes zoomy. That fortress has no holes in it, though, as Puffy's alive and back and pressuring it forward. Joker with the core flip and the score!
Definitely going to be a hard-fought reverse sweep for them, and if we're going to see it, if any team can do it, it can be them, as we're going to see here now with the emotes. They got the vibes right, trying to make this a reverse sweep. There's a comeback happen for game 1, but Mystic doesn't want to let that happen as he's trying to fight for this barrier. Daftgrass with the redirect, getting it through now, trying to do a little bit more damage onto Puffy now, as we see here the stun. The core flip coming out from him, unfortunately, doesn't hit quite what he wanted it to, but it does seem now Mystic's trying to fight for that barrier with Puffy getting KO'd, and now that's prize fighter number 2 for Daftgrass now, dribbling it a little on the wall, able to find the barrier here, as now Draftgrass trying to find that goal. Mystic is taking a lot of damage, but he's able to get the goalie kill now with Max Prizefighter and a point to show for it for 1-1.
That was absolutely beautiful adjustment here by Winter that we've seen. So Daftgrass earlier in the game was applying pressure to Joker and trying to eliminate Joker. Hey, speaking of which, Joker just says, goodbye Daftgrass, get off my map. It's my map. But Daftgrass has been putting more pressure on Puffy right now and making sure that Puffy, who has less ease in surviving with less stagger, less sustain because of the tempo swing and stuff like that, really put the pressure there, eliminate Puffy so that Joker isn't supported, and then with your midfield presence and control, get goals that way, which has been really effective that last point there. As, again, we're 1-1 on barriers right now. Joker's looking a little small, so we take some time to ourselves, dribble, make sure we take some self-care. Mystic gets in there, wins a strike war against Lilybun for a barrier. Venz holds on to it here. Mystic makes Joker small, so that dash misses. Good Giga here on the side of Venz. And there is that draft gas Puffy KO, as I mentioned, which sets them up here for a great pass around Lilybun, who stepped a little too far out of the goal there with the roll.
Yeah, that was definitely a nice goal. He got a KO. He has Max Prizefighter. That damage is definitely really hard hitting. Lots of damage KO potential here, as now we're seeing Joker and Lilybun really close to core flip, as well as Daftgrass, who just got his. Now as we're seeing the black hole gone, very wide open map, as Events here is trying to clear through, but the Total Fortress is very hard to get through, but he manages to find it as Daftgrass uses core flip, but it does seem Joker is able to use his to get both barriers now, as Daftgrass is very low, as they're trying to find that second barrier, the Maelstrom, trying to set something up here, but it does seem that Joker trying to end it early, but they're not quite able to get it through now, as Lilybun's delaying for Joker to get that amazing shot for 2-2, match point for both sides of this last potential set.
Absolutely, and this is, you know, it's weird to say, this is still anyone's game. FNS is looking pretty strong. They may be fatigued from that first set, though, and it'll be really interesting to see if they win this and we get a continuation on that game, how that goes, and that's what we're rooting for here to happen, of course, as Joker passes up to Puffy, who's able to, with their limited lifespan, because it doesn't seem like they're too long for this world, find a barrier using all their abilities while they still can. That 4-2 fortress, not looking too much like a fortress. There they go. They find the end of the map. As I said, they probably would. And Joker and Lilybun are now in a situation where they have to find a way to make this work. Good clear from Joker through the galaxy. Gets it going. Core flips used offensively, defensively. Joker can't quite win the strike war there. Lilybun being shrunk makes that really hard. Daftgrass can't quite find it, but a beautiful kick up from Venz ends game 1 of this series.
Wow, definitely coming out of that, out of nowhere, that Giga Blast. Very strong to see it here with that missile prop, able to reach that destination. I don't know if that's quite scaling for late game, but it was definitely a nice late game boon to get that. As we saw, the game winner was shot by Venz there for that first game. What do you think we're going to be seeing here going into the second game in terms of bans? Do you think maybe we're going to see an Atlas in play for that extra healing, or maybe a Kazan ban with that 32 damage and those 10 KOs they were able to find?
Well, you banned Kazan, right? Like, you just saw an impressive showing from Kazan. I hate to say it, but I don't know what Puffy's supposed to do there on the era, right? Like, how do you save yourself from getting absolutely harassed by Kazan there? I don't know if there's a good solution to that. So, in my mind, the best solution to that is you just shrug. You say, okay, we didn't really want to pass them the IME, but we're gonna have to. And Lilybun plays a mean IME. So if it's a good IME map for Lily, like if we see IME Zap again, for example, then I'm going to imagine that we might see them pass the IME and say, we can't let you have the Kazan, apparently. Apparently that's too much. And they're really gonna have to figure out how they're gonna deal with that if they don't ban it.
Yeah, no, definitely Kazan, very new strong striker that they added in for those damage, those KOs. I haven't quite seen that play made where they play it with an era. That extra damage from the Maelstrom sometimes was coming in really well, where they would have all those abilities and a opponent would be staggered. They're able to get a lot of KOs that way, plus with the extra speed to catch your victims, or the extra size or the decrease in size for them to just tower over them and make sure those abilities land. Definitely really strong as someone who has a lot of abilities and a lot of damage to boot with all those abilities. Definitely look into that ban, especially with that combo play that was really strong to see on Mystic's end, playing really well, able to decide when to go for core, when to go for damage, when to use their Bewitching Beam for what. Definitely a hard matchup to fight. Definitely, I would put a fork in that combo by banning that Kazan.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that combo, of course, was specifically because Castellast showed up. If you do play against this, I really feel like it has to be supported by an Atlas. If you're gonna pass the Kazan, you're gonna have to pick up an Atlas. It just seems because the damage that comes out is way too much for one player to realistically deal with on their own. So the option is that, or you just kill the Kazan faster than he can kill you. Those seem to be the two clear options here if they let it through. That being said, I don't think they're going to let it through as we go to gates and fire up start, maybe? It'd be kind of fun. I wouldn't complain.
The gates are open, as you have once said before, and will probably say it again. As we see here, it seems that Joker is hovering that Octavia pick here, and as we predicted, the Kazan Bam is going to be coming out from Finesse here. I am very curious to see what the other team here, Winter, has to ban, and it seems it will be Joker's Octavia, which he was hovering, which makes me think this might be a Castellast or Chrono start even.
No, they absolutely might have that, but Joker is hovering that at all times because that's just like the character Joker plays. And Joker is absolutely known to pop off on that. Given that there is an era pick, you might be just absolutely correct. There may have been Castellast Chrono, one of those available here as we get into Gates of Obscura for Game 2, Finesse versus Winter. Let's see if Winter can take it home.
Yeah, as we see here now, as we have a Perfect Form Chrono Awakening, which explains the Octavia ban. Now, as we see the gates here, how we're going to play this Vence, trying to keep that defensive side, but it's going to go through the portal. Now, back to Vence here in this corner here, but as the portals give it, they take it away and now send it to Lilybun's side as Mystic is able to find the first barrier on this map. And now, as Joker or Mystic is trying to clear it through here, but it does seem that Puffy is able to find that barrier now as Draftgrass is dribbling up in the top corner trying to find it, but it seems Joker's able to clear it through now as it's back through the portal from Puffy trying to get it out, but Draftgrass able to sneak it through. As we see here, the portal play comes back through, back to Lilybun, which goes right back to Puffy, able to find it through, not quite because of the Tofu Fortress, but the Tofu Fortress has holes and it's able to get through now, as we're going to see it sent through the portal again and again, as we're seeing the Bewitching Beam and the Path Splitter trying to find that goal from Mystic here, but it's not quite enough. It's now Puffy has the goal, able to pass it through these portals here as double core flips on both sides, and now as it's overtime, both portals are opening up as we see here core flip, but not quite, as Puffy, unfortunately the Dubu stuns it out. Now the core flip kill though from Joker. Now they have another power play potential here, maybe a portal pass as we see it trying to go for the shot, but it is blocked by the core flip now. As we see here, definitely going a lot more faster because of overtime. The Path Splitter trying to stun the Zentaro out of the game, but Puffy's primary is able to get it through with a piercing shot for .1.
So I think there's actually, like that was all well and good. That was a really good play. Everything worked out well. I just saw something really cool that I want to talk about for a second that Lilybun could have done there that I had never thought about. I'm not a goalie player. But I realized Lilybun walked over to the portal to make an obvious clear into it, and Vence moved down to their adjacent corner portal, right, to deal with that. Lilybun actually could have core flipped it and probably just shot it straight across the map and scored. Nobody was between it. Everybody was expecting it to go into that bottom corner. It would have worked out really well, and I just think that is why I love this map. It is really a thinking man's map, and I just saw it like a quarter second after it would have been too late to do it anyways, but I look forward to when the community really gets to that level of mind gaming and metagaming, and like, how do you even defend that properly here as both teams are looking to get barriers and open their own gates so that they can actually get a point, as we just barely missed the portal clear there. But this Tofu Fortress is making a good use of that. Puffy looking a little worse for wear as Mystic and Daft really want Puffy gone. And we're going into overtime now, which means it's time for extra gates.
As we're able to see, the extra gates are already coming into use as they're trying. The goalies are having a fight of their own, but it's not quite enough from either side now, as Mystic is able to core flip, trying to get the goal through as Daftcraft's trying to push it in, but it's not quite enough. But the Maelstrom extra backup, even then, Lilybun is able to hold out and keep it through. Now as Daftcraft hits it back up, but it's Joker's able to get it through the portal now as Puffy's trying to get it, but Daftcraft might find himself a goal, but he finds himself dead from the Tofu Fortress now as Lilybun is trying to mind game. Will she send it through the portal? Will they not? But Joker with their ultimate able to get that barrier in, and now the goal with the core flip.
Something else that we didn't talk about coming into this game. We obviously mentioned the Chrono Boost and the Perfect Form, but we really didn't highlight that, of course, this is a Zentaro with Perfect Form. And it's been a while since they've touched Zentaro. Perfect Form just got buffed yet again, and it was already one of Zentaro's best awakenings by a decent margin. Like, it was Abyss. But now, Zentaro ult just hit 3 people and the core. So that special's probably coming up again soon, as they have gates open on the side of Finesse here, and just the power and the presence that Joker's going to have as this scales up into the game, portal plays, Puffy trying to push it through here, is going to be massive.
Yeah, as we see here now, the Tofu Fortress trying to block it off, but it has holes, but it seems Puffy's able to get it through that hole now as it's passed through the portal right back to Lilybun now as Joker's trying to make this power play. But it does seem that Puffy is unfortunately KO'd now as they're trying to make a play off of it, but Joker's able to stun it out of them as he's trying to keep it away from Lilybun with Daftcraft with core flip, but it does seem Lilybun's able to hold it out and get that ball away from them now as they're trying to keep it through. Daftcraft once again trying to find a moment, but we're kicking into overtime, so that means more portals now as the Tofu Force is able to hold it out here as the Tofu wall is not quite enough. As we see here that Vens is able to get it, or not quite get it, as Joker is able to find the first set.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I just, looking at this, Finesse seems to be the team with the better understanding of the map, just from what we see here. I mean, they didn't give up a single point there. And every single point went to overtime, by the way. Every single one, it took these teams till the gates were opened. Anyways, now talking about the draft, we see Pancakes, Monu, Cast to Last, and Spark. Fire Up and Revert? Spark? Spark.
Sparks.
I like Sparks.
Sparks are back in play, back in action, Sparkington City. Now, as we see here, the Spark of Resilience on Joker, probably trying to stay a little bit more alive, expecting maybe a little bit more damage, and you can potentially build up more Sparks as we see here now, as the round kicks off, as they're able to find the first barrier now, as they're trapped in that corner with the two fortress, but the portal is trying to get it through here now, as Lily was able to clear it out with the wall, dribbling with their primary now, as Puffy's able to clear it out. As they're trapped in the corner, they are not quite able to keep that barrier, but they're able to keep their second one now with the wall coming through here as the portal. But the KO is going to be found on Daftgrass from Joker now with a lot of damage also on Mystic. Will he be able to find a double KO here? It seems like they're definitely itching for it. He's chasing him across the map, disregarding the core because Puffy's able to keep it there as they're able to find that KO. Now, with a another kill on the table, the core flip's going to come out, but he's not quite able to get it, as the portal play, though, is going to be able to get the barrier now with Joker trying to keep the ball now to Puffy, who has core flip, trying to maybe get that barrier down with that core flip, as we're going to see here, keeping a lot of damage on all of them, especially that perfect form, keeping those abilities up, getting a lot of those targets now as Daftgrass pushing towards the goal with his core flip of zone, is able to find it through to get the first point on this set, trying to make them take the second set and not let it go 2-0.
Absolutely, and the defensive maneuvers here coming out from the side of Winter, that was really clean. It looked to me like Joker was a little too hungry for that kill, because there was a pass that Puffy made and Joker was just like ungaing and bungaing, saw blood in the water like a shark, which Joker is known to be a little bit of a shark. So it does make sense, but I just found it quite amusing. I think their offense actually would worked out better had Joker had a little bit less taste for blood, as the portal passing play does come out. Joker's a little small, can't quite make it work, but Vens isn't there anymore. How can they hold on? Well, with the core flip. Can they do it again without a core flip? Yes, they can.
They do seem to be able to find that defensive, as Mystic is really good in the goalie spot as well. Now, as we see here, Lilybun is on the defensive here with having to core flip it through, almost getting that portal, but not quite now, as Joker's trying to get through that portal as well, with Puffy almost hitting the Rose Warp. now as Joker sending it through the portal now as trying to make a play as he has core flip, trying to make it happen as we go into overtime with more gates being on it. Puffy having the ball, dribbling it through, but it does seem Vens is able to get it through now with Joker core flipping, getting a nice shot on, and the Tofu Fortress unfortunately is gonna make that go in for Joker for 1-1.
To quote Vens right there, doo-boo. That was so unfortunate. The Tofu Fortress into the Tofu Fortress into absolute disaster. I will say, Vens made some amazing saves there, barely keeping it out of the net with the roly-doly-oly, which is also the name of the ability. I'm just making stuff up now. As the players cook, so do I. Portal usage here at an all-time high. Mystic Daftrak making an offensive play here on the side of Winter. Can't quite find the barrier. Joker looking to make it happen. Bad clear there. Unfortunate. Does get the barrier. A pass from a Maelstrom to yourself. Core flip buffered. Joker finds the angle. And that, I believe, is the first point that didn't go into overtime.
Yeah, definitely 23 seconds left on the clock. It was definitely a well-played point on FNS's side. The barriers on this map are a little bit different from any barriers we've quite seen before. Harder to keep them up, especially when they make some amazing portal plays or some Tofu Fortress plays like that where it's locked in the corner as we see both Tofu Fortresses come out. But a KO is going to be found on Puffy because that double Tofu Fortress now with Mystic being able to play off of that and get a both barrier break now as Daftgrass is going to path splitter stun Lilybun to get the goal for 2-2 match point.
Absolutely, and that was the first time we really saw the corner portal come into play there as Vens by themselves, well, not by themselves, they took both the barriers with the help of Mystic. Daftgrass immediately says, nah, never mind, I'm gonna use the corner portal, I want to be on this side of the map, and abandons even attempting a kickoff. Vens there with a great save and a great clear around Joker. Daftgrass unable to find it. Vens does defend. Mystic not in position to receive, so it sets up a good offense here on the side of Finesse. Tofu Fortresses abound as Mystic and Daftgrass are both trying to find the angle. Portal clear. Mystic passing it. Can't make it happen. Vens pushing it through. We got the path splitter clearing the way, but there it goes. Vens misclicks the portal just a little bit. They need to make them bigger. The hitbox is too small. Joker with the core flip. Lilybun's on the wrong side of the map. Welcome back, Lilybun. Vens through the portal. Lilybun clears it out. Daftgrass down. They have a pressure attack here with the Maelstrom coming through, making the clears really hard. Daftgrass can't find it. Lilybun's locking it down with the Tofu Fortress and the KO. Core flip available. Puffy moving through. Fortress again. Portal not available. Joker. Puffy makes it out.
Definitely a very powerful power play that they made, which went into a 1-on-3, which is definitely really hard to defend, especially when they have a core flip lurking and a Zentaro getting super surge, which would be best in slot for him, which is going to make this even more of a hard game to stay alive against him. As we can see, though, from the other awakenings here, what do you think is going to be taken?
Well, I was going to say, I feel like you need to get that stagger swagger if you're either Era or Asher here, but of course, Puffy brilliantly denies that. Timeless is going to be good here for Era. I think the Catalyst on Vens with the fire up is really powerful. That's something to keep an eye on, especially if Egoist is still available, which I'm pretty sure it is. Daftgrass kind of all in on the Path Splitter, which isn't exactly something you would like to be all in on. It's not the best tools in her kit, as Joker goes to Dubu Fortress Jail, which is a little unlucky. Mystic is taking under a lot of pressure here and a lot of damage, which of course is why you would like that stagger. Puffy lines it up, takes the barrier, back passes abound. Do we use the portal? Do we not? We don't need to, because we just knock it in with a rain of arrows.
Wow, that back pass was really good there to get that momentum switched onto that side. Back pass is very powerful when used correctly, very consequential when used incorrectly, but it seems here it was very well placed, as now Joker with that reburst of energy is trying to KO Vens with adding a lot of damage, but the really big path splitter is able to find one barrier, almost able to find two, but not quite, as now we see the shots coming through with the Tofu Fortress able to block a lot of these, and it seems Daftgrass still wants it as Mystic's backing him up there with the Bewitching Beam as the all attempt at the evade clear comes through from Lilybun, but it's not quite enough now as they are KO'd with a lot of KOs abound as the core slides through from Vens while they are brawling out.
They were absolutely brawling out, and Venz is like, it's fine, you guys got this. I see there's a little angle here through the portal, and that is a portal goal, which is always fun for the goalie, which is why everybody likes this map. I don't think there's a single person in the OS community who doesn't like this map, because everybody has acknowledged that it is the biggest brain and most fun and engaging and interactive map to play on, as how to use the portals there. Look at that. Puppy gets a barrier. What could Venz have done about it? I don't know. That's for them to figure out. Unlucky, I would say. But either way here, another unfortunate Tofu Fortress here from Venz, unable to set themselves up successfully. They do get the clears out through it. Of course, the pressure, 2 players are gone, 1 for each side, no power play. Lilybun says, I'm in, we fly, baby. Joker gets the ace and the goal, putting them 1 point away from making this series 1-1.
Wow, what an impressive display. Lilybun definitely going all in there on that play, which was the right call, as we saw the damage was stacking up, and with their help of that, they were able to make that 2v2 quickly fall into a 2v0 now. As we see here, they are learning from their mistakes now, as they are able to find the first barrier here, but the Tofu Fortress trying to keep it there, but they're able to squeeze it out now, as Joker once again has the ball, and the Dubu roll unfortunately misses there, as now Joker's able to capitalize, make oppressive plays from that, as they're trying to get the barrier with the Dubu log, helping keep the core in, but it's not quite enough now, as it's going back there, but it does seem Mystic is still fighting to keep it there, but it's not quite enough now. They finally found it through to Daft Grass, as the core flip comes out from Lilybun now. Joker able to get that goal from that nice pass from the core flip, but another core flip's going to be coming out now, as Daft Grass now is in goal with core flip, but the Tofu Fortress, but the portal pass sneaking it through. If you can't get around the goal or the wall, but it doesn't matter, because Joker's able to put it in and get the goalie for game 2.
I'm so impressed with Joker there in that last point. Holy moly. There was a lot of great team play from FNS, but I just want to highlight what Joker did. Joker gets the first barrier with a great blink. Joker then gets the second barrier off of receiving a beautiful core flip pass there from Lilybun, and Joker then secures the goal with the help of Puffy. That was just absolutely fantastic, beautiful play there from Joker. It does help when you have, Bis Awakenings, which is just how the game works here. Good adjustments made on the side of FNS. They clearly had a plan for this map, and they knew what they were going to do coming into this, as Winter was only able to get 3 points on this map after a really strong performance in Game 1.
That was definitely a lot harder to play, as we said. Gates of Obscure is a new map. It's harder to play around. Their Kazan gameplay was banned, which is a very common strategy, which is to damage their goalie and get them a KO, because then it's a lot easier to score and play around. But with that banned, they didn't have as much damage, as Daftgrass was now on Asher. As we're able to see here, going into game 3, as we are now 1-1 of this series here, I think the Kazan ban is definitely going to seem like the right choice from FNS, and they might keep that through. And now I'm curious to see, what do you think is going to be the thoughts on Winter's ban? I personally think they might be more Awakening band based than they might have initially been, because it does seem when they play a character that gets the right Awakening, like Joker's able to make a really nice play and a really nice performance off of it.
The thing for the side of Winter that you might feel a little sad about, especially if you're a Winter fan, right, is that 2 times there has been an Octavia Awakening at the start. So both of these games, Winter has felt compelled to ban Octavia, and I can't blame him. I've played with and against Joker's Octavia way too many times on the ranked ladder, and I absolutely hate playing against it. And when I play with it, it's just like the freest of wins that I've ever experienced. And he pulls it out all the time, but when it's a starting Awakening, it is just like absolutely disgusting, and you can't pass that over. So I don't blame them for not banning Zentaro with perfect form on the table, because do you really want to give him Octavia with Chrono Boost? Probably not.
Yeah, it's definitely a hard ban. It does seem that Joker has quite the roster, so we're going to have to see what their ban is going into an Inky Splash Zone, another new map, which might be a lot harder for Winter to play around, but we will see what they do with their strategy, as now it does seem that there's not quite an Octavia Awakening here, but they might still ban that, as they are still sticking with their Kazan ban going through here.
Yeah, they absolutely could still ban it. given that Joker immediately switched to Asher and Puffy switched to Estelle, that looks like what they want to do. And there you go. There is indeed the Asher ban, taking that away from Joker, who is now highlighting Octavia. So we get to see some Octavia gameplay maybe, which is exciting. And you can tell that Winter really sniffed that out, and they're really focusing on making sure that Joker has a harder time playing the game, because whatever the Awakening start is, they saw Octavia is probably not the pick here that they want. Let's ban away Joker's Asher, which is what they want. Again, that'll be up to whatever the Awakening is, which easily could be primetime, rapid fire, plethora of things built different, big fish. Who knows? As we get into the game 3 on Inky Splash Zone, Finesse versus Winter, winner takes all. It is primetime, by the way.
It is a prime time, but it does seem that Joker went Spark of Resilience with that Octavia, maybe trying to build Sparks with a hint of Chrono or Castellas here, as we're seeing now on kickoff, as they are scaling for late game, as we have once seen on the Julie. Can they make it work on the Octavia, as it might be a lot harder to play in the early game here now, as Puffy's trying to clear for the midfield against this Estelle via Estelle, but it doesn't seem like quite enough with that prime time. Extra help is going to get through now with Puffy trying to get the goal on, and Joker being really hardly shut down by Daftgrass here. And now, as they're trying to make it play happen, it does seem that Puffy is back in the goalpost trying to get it through. Octavia not quite fast enough or have that the flow state last long enough to keep up with the core here now, as they're able to interrupt the dribble and now pass it to Puffy. Puffy trying to make a play here on that. The Toku Fortress coming out to help with that play, but it's able to seep out of their hands now as it's back in Joker's with the KO coming out and the score from Joker for round 1.
That was a really strong start, and they played that really well. Puffy did a lot of great things there. Lilybud unfortunately cut Puffy out of the play with the Toku Fortress, something I am all too used to, but is how they did it, and they really held it down good on the defense there. Something I want to talk about is Daftgrass, hold on, making an aggressive start here. 2 core flips coming up, 1 used, the juice comes out, 2 used as an evade. Joker knows how to apply pressure, just misses the primary and can't keep flow state up. No more zoom for Joker for a while, and core flip 1 used. Joker can't quite receive it there on the side of Finesse. And it looks like we might have a lull, but I'm wrong, because there it is, Mystic pushes it through.
Yeah, definitely no overtimes yet so far, as we are seeing. With no overtimes, no juicer KOs, it definitely seems so far this Inky Splash game is just getting started, as it's 1-1. As we are now seeing from kickoff, though, the barrier is able to hang on. And now as Joker entering flow state once again with core flip this time, can they keep it through? It does seem that they're quite just unable to keep it there, as they're able to keep it away now, as Puffy with the blink trying to get the goal in, the core flip, but it's blocked by the barrage now, but it does seem it's finally going to be able to get through from Joker now, as the Toku Fortress has the ball hostage with the juicer coming out. It does seem now with core flip coming from maybe a Lilybud pass here as Joker enters flow state, but unfortunately Puffy's KO'd now, as they have to play the defensive game with the dribbling here, the stalling out, and now it's definitely going to be a harder game to come back from. But it does seem they're trying and quite making it work with the core flip coming out, trying to make the shot, but it is blocked by Mystic. Now with the juicer taking its first victim, and a goal from Puffy.
Daftgrass just got slimed. Absolutely. So, going back to what I was trying to say before the game got too intense, Joker here taking the Spark of Resilience. Notably, only person to take the Spark, right? Because it was Resilience, not a great one to take by itself. But Octavia's big problem is the squishiness of Octavia, as Daftgrass takes the first barrier here. Joker unable to clear it. So, it's definitely a scaling thing, but this is the most important first one for Octavia, who just needs that extra stagger sometimes and can really use the pressure. Great hit by Daft to get it through Lilybud there. And getting the Spark here, the stagger one specifically, will make all these stagger awakenings better, like peak performance. And then, of course, all the Sparks become better. And the only one that Joker probably doesn't really want from the Sparks is the Spark of Power, because that power doesn't scale that well on Joker. Okay.
Yeah. Octavia doesn't really scale well too much with power, but as they're having that extra stagger, they were able to hold on for their life. But this barrier wasn't able to hold on as Daftgrass able to get it through now. Close to Corflip in the goal, with the Juicer coming out now as they're feeding it to it, but it does seem Puffy's able to keep it away from them now as Joker trying to make the pass. The Death Touch not quite enough to reach it. Mystic trying to pass it through there, but they saw through that, and now Joker keeping the ball up top, trying to keep it away from Daftgrass at all costs, it seems, but they're finally able to land it now, but the Tupu Fortress is able to block them off as they're still trying to keep it now with Octavia pushing them away, but the Corporal's going to come out, but Puffy's going to be able to block it, and Joker's going to get the KO now with the Juicer, though, coming into play. With no one really there to play on it, it's going to go and get the barrier now as their own Juicer comes into play here, and it does seem that Octavia, Joker, will get the goal and get the first set.
And now we're in a position that's really scary. Joker just got the lead. Does he win? I don't know. There it is. You see the chrono boost. It happens every time. Isn't Octavia a character?
As an Octavia fan, I love to see it. An Octavia fan and an Octavia player getting that chrono boost, especially with that bit of health to help when they are inevitably going to try to KO you to stop you, is going to be very nice to see here. Now, as we go into this next set, looking very promising for FNS as they seem to have one draft.
Yeah, no, they definitely seem to have won draft. Unfortunately, just getting chrono boost on Octavia might be enough to win draft on its own, but the rest of it seems solid here. It is worth noting that Daftgrass does have twin drive, which actually does work on Rasmus now as they finally fixed that bug, and Mystic with the extra blink range and blink damage. Joker able to put a lot of pressure though, and Puffy FPS keeping up that pressure. Lilybun with the dribble, the pass. They find the angle, but the prime time, Grapes is able to make it work. Daftgrass pushes it through. They get a barrier. We're now one barrier piece. If they can just get it on the other side, but they can't, as Puffy secures it with the rain of arrows.
Yeah, that was very nicely well played. Vens didn't really have a lot of options, made what was what they could see as the only option, but Puffy was there to secure it. As they say, a checkmate maybe. Now, Daftgrass trying to undo that now with a dribbling of his own, but it does seem Lilybun's able to keep it away now with Joker entering flow stay on the ball, trying to keep it through with his ultimate to push in for that goal break now as they're trying to get it through the net, which they can find from the assistance of Puffy.
That was fast, and that right there demonstrates the power of Chrono Boost and why you take it on Octavia. The instant startup speed there being faster, it lasting slightly longer, made the difference there in that play. That play wouldn't have worked last set without the Chrono Boost, but here it did as Puffy gets a barrier with the core flip. Joker has core flip, but there are two core flips up on the side of Winter, so they'll probably be able to save from it. There's one. Juice comes out. Joker gets their face in there. Can't quite make it work. Takes a lot of damage for it. Lilybun, it does have a core flip up. Daftgrass playing it so well, though. Joker with the defense. Lilybun does get that core flip save. Joker's looking to make sure Daft doesn't get the ball here. Passes it through Mystic, who's able to get themselves set up there with an increased blink range into the primary, securing a point for the side of Winter.
I do want to point out that Lilybun tried to pass down to Joker to keep that flow state coming, but Daftgrass saw that coming and was just quite able to reach the ball to get the barrier with the extra range of Whiplash with that twin drive. Now, as we see here, the passing plays coming through with Joker in the flow state, but it does seem it's going to be stopped and interrupted by a Giga, but it's not quite enough as he's fast enough to get there again with the power of the extra flow state speed. Now, with the barrier gone and the Juicer active, it does seem that they're trying to get that goal open, with Puffy getting closer and closer to Corplip as Octavia wants to push it in, but they're able to find the KO on to the goalie Vens now as they're passing back and forth, trying to make a play here as they can quite make it happen. They're trying to get the KO onto Daftgrass as well, but the evade meters is enough to keep it out now with Vens back on the table and Octavia really low. It does seem here that they might try to just go for the KO as the damage is adding up, and they are able to get the KO. And it is worthwhile as Vens is able to keep the ball out now with Puffy and Corflip trying to kill Mystic and score at the same time, but it's not quite enough on either. And now Lilybun has the Corflip to delay here and the Tofu Fortress as well to boot. And as we're trying to get it through on Daftgrass' side, but the core flip, unfortunately, is going to come out a little bit early, but it does seem that Vens is able to defend that close to be goal now with the Juicer coming out, taking out Daftgrass here as Puffy's passing to Joker, who's able to slide the goal in for set 2.
Oh, yikes. I know it looks like Daftgrass just walked into the Juice. They were trying to get their strike box in there so they could yoink the core out. Is a thing that happens sometime. And Okay, Castellast can be denied here, so you didn't... Oh, wait, do you take the quick strike instead of just leaving them both up here? Yeah, I was going to say you leave them both up and just make it Giga checkmate here, as now Octavia is going to be able to take the quick strike. What a high roll. Holy moly.
That is a very tough spot to put the Rasmus in Daftgrass, but I think he made the right play because getting that Castellas is really powerful, but quick strikes with that additional speed you get from Chrono Boost might be just enough to always keep that flow state active, and we're going to see here as we go in with another really strong Awakening draft for Finesse, as we're going to see here if they can make this play with dribble. The dribbling play coming from Joker, which is amazing and outstanding, as they're really close to core flip, already getting the KO with that core flip. Thus said, now with the power play of the goalie being gone, they're making a lot of passing plays, a lot of mind games Joker's making, as they're able to keep that core a lot longer with this quick strike, as they're going and getting it from Lilybun's hands. They want it for themselves. The selfish striker coming out of Joker, but they're quite... Oh, they are able to keep up, but Venz is able to take Joker out, as the monster he is needs to be KO'd now, as they're trying to make this work now with the power play, the potential they have. It does seem Mystic is close to core flip, trying to get it through, but Joker is now back, and he is out for vengeance now, as Mystic has core flip, trying to get that barrier, but it's not quite enough, as Joker is going to get the ball and keep the flow state on him, as now he has it and he's getting the ball and he's taking it with those quick strikes, but Mystic's able to keep it away from him, but it's not long enough because he has the chrono for the extra duration now, as this is a Joker dribbling game that you have to live in. It does seem they're able to keep it away long enough for the flow state to end, but now he has core flip right and goal, but it's not quite enough, as Venz is able to expertly use these barrages to keep it out now, as it's really anybody's game.
Yeah, absolutely. And one thing I've noticed is that they had KO'd Joker, right? And that's what they have to keep doing here. They have to keep it away from Joker. They have to KO Joker. This game is all now about Joker on the Octavia. Daftgrass unable to find the goal there with the help of a juice, unsupported. Octavia is pushing it in. Core flip from Venz, clears it. Lilybun there to save it. Daftgrass has a core flip coming up, just needs to get it. Can't quite. Joker's looking to make it happen, and there it is. The speed, too much for the side of Winter.
Wow, even though this Octavia has a lot of strong awakenings, they are playing around it really well. That was a long overtime game. They played really well on the defensive, and they were able to get that barrier, but it doesn't seem they quite had enough time. They needed to get that barrier a little bit earlier so that they could try to get that goal in, but it does seem that now they know the working formula to get the barrier down and keep Joker at bay with all that damage they're keeping on him, but with that he is closer to core flip already now, as he has it with that quick strike extra energy burst now, as they're delaying to keep Joker away from it, but it's not quite enough, as he's able to find a KO with that not having enough energy to evade, as Joker's able to get another goal for what could potentially be the last set and the last game of this series.
There's a reason they were banning Octavia. They knew that Joker's Octavia is an absolute menace to society. They're getting to live through it right now, as Joker got probably one of the high-rolliest Octavia outcomes that was possible in a real world. But I gotta remind everyone that they won set 1, and that's the problem. You can't let Octavia win a set because this character can just do this. And you know, here they are making the passing plays, that extra stagger coming into play right now, getting Joker set up with the speed here, able to prevent a core flip even. Still can't find the barrier. Joker has to stay back, is coming into poke, probably going to concede the fact that they need to just live here and can't keep up the flow state. Still trying to bully because they have that core flip, even though they're out. A really great dodge here. Puffy looking to make it happen. Having an easier time keeping up the midfield presence because of just how many abilities are being used on Joker, who gets a core flip off finally. Can't make anything happen. Juice comes out. Puffy's getting fed the core here because we have core flip coming up. Lilybun loses a strike for Mystic after core flipping. Puffy shoots it through because we have to somehow keep it away from Daftgrass here and the Juice. It is just too oppressive. Passes. Not enough passes. Daftgrass doesn't get it there. Gets it here. Dribbles. Recenters. Log. Stops it. Joker comes through. Daftgrass with the Juice. With the core flip. And Finesse takes it. Going 2-0 in the day.
Wow, what an excellent performance on their end, especially that Joker highlighting why Octavia can be so powerful and so strong. As someone who enjoys playing Octavia, I really like to see it, but it is a really hard thing to play against, And especially, as you said earlier, if they win set 1 and they get a really good awakening, it's really hard to play against, especially if they had another great awakening from the start awakening. And now, as we saw in this performance, with that 5 KOs and 6 goals and 124 redirects, they were everywhere. They were a KO machine and they were a goal machine. Definitely really hard to play against once an Octavia starts snowballing.
It absolutely is, and they tried their best to play around it. And I'm really impressed by FNS being able to, beat out the fatigue potential from just playing 2 back-to-back tournament series. That is a hard thing to do, especially if you've never done it, which they have. They've been doing this for a while. They've done it. But it's still a hard thing to do, and I'm still impressed by them. Even losing... They lost game 1 to Winter, right? Mm-hmm. They were down 0-1. So they were down 0-1 against Winter, had to win 2 games to come back, and they were able to do it despite what might have been a morale deficit.
Yeah, especially on those new maps that are even harder to play on, especially with that morale deficit, which you get of a Gates of Obscura and then an Inky Splash Zone to follow it up. Those are definitely new maps, harder to play on, but they still were able to bring the fire and able to get through and make it work and get that last game.
Yeah, and I don't know. We got to see Joker's Octavia. It was really impressive. It always is. I would like to point out that he had 17 saves just because I think that's funny. The Octavia, when they get injured, tends to go back to net, and that's what we saw there. So any final thoughts, any final things you'd like to say before we send it to break and get on out of here?
Final thoughts I would like to say is that all teams played extremely well. I thought that Daftgrass had an amazing performance, as well as Vens holding out that goal for as long as he did on a lot of those sets, and especially Mystic, who was playing an excellent midfield game on that Estelle. And I can't forget about Puffy with that Estelle mirror match, able to hold it down, and Lilybun making some insane plays today, defensively and offensively.
Absolutely. Anyways, that'll be it from the cast from Love and Drunk and Spooked Altar. We will be going into a quick break, and then you'll be visited by 2 other casters for the next couple of series. Stay tuned.